YouTube, it's Kenny again. I don't know if anybody will pop in here or not, but I wanted to just pop in. I'm sitting in a truck stop here in Iowa and dropped my trailer off, and now I'm sitting here. It's already loaded, but I'm going to go pick it up in the morning and then roll out to Springfield, Missouri. I was thinking about making a video earlier, and sitting here, I just decided to go ahead and do it live. Why not? What's going on? Hello, I see two of you are in here. Give me one moment. Just hanging out. Got me a little buzz. Wanted to talk about the stock market. So, first of all, let people get a chance to, if anybody's going to come in. I wanted to talk about something that has been talked about around this time of year, this year and last year, and that is tax loss harvesting. All right, and tax loss harvesting is something that I really have not ever understood the purpose behind. Like, I can see the benefit if you're in a stock and you really don't think that stock is ever going to come back and you're down in it, then I can see how maybe it might be worth it to sell for a loss and use that toward taxes for tax purposes or whatever, But selling a stock purely to try to offset taxes, guys, it's stupid. So if this is something that you have in your brain, I want you to use your brain and think for a moment about this whole tax loss harvesting bullshit. All right, so let's just say I'm just gonna use some easy numbers to work with. All right, say you made $1,000 in gains over the course of the year. All right, this last year, and you want to offset that by selling some stocks for a loss to do what they call tax loss harvesting. Okay, so just say that you're going to end up paying 20% on your gains, okay? And you made $1,000 in gains. And of course, that means that you sold stocks and realized that $1,000 worth of gains. So you're going to have to pay taxes on that. If you're going to have to pay 20% on those gains, okay, that's $200. So $1,000 in gains at 20% means that you're going to have to pay $200 in taxes. All right, so now let's think about this. If you sell a stock, thinking about tax loss harvesting, okay, if you sell a stock for $500 loss, all right, and then you say, okay, I'm doing tax loss harvesting. So what that does is it takes that $1,000 worth of gains that you were going to have to pay $200 on, and it knocks it down to $500 worth of gains. And you're going to save $100 on your taxes. All right. But you lost $500. You sold $500 for a loss. And, and to save $100. Okay. So this tax loss harvesting shit is just bullshit. Unless you're sure that stock's not going to come back up. Fuck off, Jennifer. What are you talking about? Fuck you. This is that TCU college girl. It is, I can tell. All right, fuck off, bitch. Anyway, the tax loss harvesting, guys. Unless you're absolutely positive that you're not going to recoup that money, I would not sell anything just based on tax loss harvesting. Drinking behind the wheel. I'm parked for the night. Fuck you. Don't make me turn this into a real talk video, you fucking entitled stupid bitch. Why do what, JJ? Talking shit to Jennifer? Yeah, I'm not going to talk to her no more. She ain't worth it. JJ. I got a little buzz, as I said, I'm done for the night. Got a little buzz going, and she want to come on here talking some shit. But it's all right. I want to talk a little bit about that tax loss harvesting, because I think that some people get it twisted and they really don't understand what's going on with that tax loss harvesting, and they just think they're going to save some money on taxes, when in reality they could have just made their, held on to that stock and made money over the long term, and instead they're like selling for a bigger loss than what they're saving in the taxes. So if that's helpful to anybody, I hope it is helpful to some people. I know that some people out here on YouTube, they just kind of do what other people are talking about, and without a lot of times really understanding what's going on. And I would never sell a stock just for tax loss harvesting. Now, like I say, sometimes I will sell for a loss, but that's only because I've either been waiting too long, and I feel like my money would be better placed somewhere else, or maybe I just feel like I made a bad decision on a stock, and it may not come back up. But I would never just sell a stock that's in the red to try to recoup some taxes. Jesus, it's hard to ignore this chick. She's a loser. Why would I need to block you? I don't need to block you. So anybody else got some comments besides Rich TCU girl, her daddy paid for a stock portfolio? Stock market, there's just a lot of negative catalysts right now, and a lot of the big stocks, something I've been saying. What's up, Silver Shrimp? For quite some time, I've said off and on that I think that a lot of these big tech stocks are going to experience a big pullback, and I think we're coming up on that. I mean, the small cap stocks and the momentum stocks and stuff have just been hit so hard this year, basically since February. And so what I'm noticing now, like when we're having these big pullbacks in a lot of stocks, is that these stocks that are high flying, high valuation, like today we saw Amazon, Google, Facebook, some of these really high flying tech stocks have started to pull back. But a lot of these growth and momentum stocks, some of them have continued to be rising right now. And a lot of the other ones, like OEG, take OEG for example, had a big run yesterday, but then pulled back today. But it still pulled back to less, to a higher amount than it was at just a few days ago. And so a lot of these lower cap stocks have just been beat to fuck down so much that they don't have a lot of downside left. And it's only a matter of time before people start pulling some money out of these higher valuation stocks and rotating back into growth. I think we're on the verge of that right now. And there's obviously no way of telling exactly when that's going to happen, but I think it's coming. And a lot of people are talking about October, November, December being really good months for, Russell stocks, small cap stocks. But I think that there's still a ways to go. This whole debt ceiling thing that's happening, it's going to be something that's going to be stressful in the stock market, and I don't think it's going to be over quickly. I don't think it's going to be something that they're just going to go ahead and get past it and raise the debt ceiling. I think it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a struggle. It may be similar to when Trump was in office and when Obama was in office. Both of them experienced a shutdown, and especially with them trying to pass this $3.5 trillion stimulus. Thanks for the super chat, JJ. The People's Investor. Hell yeah, I appreciate it. But especially with these, where was I? Especially with these 3.5 trillion dollar infrastructure bill they're trying to pass. Not the smaller one. I think that one's going to pass pretty easily. But some of the Democrats are holding out to pass that because they want the big one passed first, or at least ready to pass. And I think that the Republicans are attempting to use the debt ceiling as leverage to try to shut the government down to negotiate on this other bill. So I really do think that we're going to go through the whole thing this time with a shutdown and the threats of shutting down, and the stock market's going to freak out about it. But I think we get past that in October and move toward what everybody's been talking about more in November and December. But I do think the end of the year and the beginning of next year is going to be fantastic for growth stocks, momentum stocks, whatever you want to call them, particularly the small cap growth stocks, and especially the ones that are either about to turn the corner into profitability or are like on the verge of profitability, and which is why I'm so heavy in OEG. Bro, my opinion on Nikola has not changed. So let's talk about, you're always mentioning Nikola. So let's talk a little bit about that, okay? Here's the issue with Nikola. The issue is that, like, as a truck driver, okay, there is no hydrogen fueling. Like, and the same thing with battery electric vehicles. There is no infrastructure for us to charge a truck. And with hydrogen, like, the thing about hydrogen, okay, like, even if they, okay, let me just think, let me just clear my head for a second. So with electric, okay, they could potentially build out charging stations. But with hydrogen is currently more expensive than diesel. So even if they were to build the infrastructure, which would cost so much and take so long, even if they were to build the infrastructure, there's no hydrogen to fuel the trucks. So you have to understand that these companies, these trucking companies, okay, they do not care about the environment. The vast majority of trucking companies, they do not care about the environment. They want to do whatever's cheaper. And the reason that I support Hyliion is because it is cheaper on a number of different levels. Whereas Nikola, we're 5-10 years off from even being able to produce enough hydrogen. And never mind the fact that it's way more expensive than diesel. And never mind the fact that there is no infrastructure in place to even create the hydrogen. So the thing about Nikola is, I'm not that they'll never be successful, but if they're going to have to survive for these 10 years where hydrogen is just not viable. Now, if they were to change their business model, I don't track them, okay, but if they were to change their business model to something to where they're building a truck that would run on natural gas like what Hyliion's doing, then maybe they'd have a chance. But here's another issue with Nikola, okay? Nikola is trying to build a truck. Hyliion is building just a powertrain, and a powertrain that can go in a Kenworth, it can go in a Peterbilt, it can go in a Freightliner, etc., etc. All right? Nikola's trying to build a truck. And let me tell you something about truck drivers and about trucking companies, all right? They like their Kenworths or their Freightliners or their Peterbilts. Like, this is a big deal to truck drivers. Like, I'm a Kenworth guy. I like Kenworths. I'm in a Kenworth now. I don't like Freightliners. I don't like Internationals. I like Peterbilts, but that's the thing. Like, it's like a Chevy versus Ford type of mentality. People are serious about their truck brand. And when you're trying to create a truck like Nikola is, and somebody has to say, well, I'm not going to buy Kenworth anymore, I'm going to go to Nikola, it's not going to happen, all right? But with Hyliion, Kenworth companies and drivers will be able to keep buying their Kenworths. They'll just put a different, it's like right now, you can go buy a Kenworth, you can get a PACCAR engine in it, or you can get a Cummins engine in it. And the only thing that will change when it comes to Hyliion is you'll either be able to get a PACCAR, or you'll be able to get a Cummins, or you'll be able to get an ERX system. But you're still going to get your Kenworth with all the trimmings, you know. That's the benefit of Hyliion. I'm telling you, this company is going to do really well. Like once they get, especially once they get past the point where they're having like third parties install it, and they are able to actually get it as an option from the manufacturer. So when you go buy your trucks from Kenworth, you can say either I want the Cummins ISXs or I want the Hyliion ERX in it. That's going to be a big deal, because then companies will be able to not only save money by not having all the emission systems, but they'll also get a big tax credit, and the fuel will be cheaper. And I'm telling you guys that that's the number one thing to trucking companies. We don't have to pay a shitload of money for fixing all these emission systems that always fuck up. We're spending less on fuel, and we get a big ass tax credit. A bunch of these companies are going to jump on that. And you know, it's still a couple years off, but it's coming. Let me look back at these comments, see if I can filter out what's your tits. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. What's my opinion on NIO? You know, like, I like NIO as a company. I think that they've got a bright future ahead of them. I just can't bring myself to invest in Chinese stocks. Like, you know, here's some of the problems with Chinese stocks, all right? Number one, you know, a lot of us in America are in, you know, democratic, republic type countries. We don't really understand how communism works, and I'm not saying that I do. But what I am saying is that, you know, the Chinese government at any point in time can just say, oh, you're done. We're executing all of y'all motherfuckers. And I don't like that shit. I don't like that they don't really have control. I mean, they have control all the way up until the Chinese government says they no longer have control. The Chinese government can do whatever the fuck they want, and nobody can stop them, all right? And then another thing that I don't like about investing in Chinese companies is that when you buy a stock in a Chinese company, okay, you do not own that company. Like if I buy Berkshire Hathaway, I own a percentage of that company, even if it's a tiny percentage, okay? But when you buy a Chinese stock, you do not own a portion of that company, all right? They take, and what they do is they create this, because it's illegal for us in China, it's illegal for us to buy their portions of their companies. So what they do is they create this offshore account, and then we buy percentages of that, and we don't really ever own a portion of that company. And if something was to go down and you were to need to take some kind of legal action, good fucking luck with that, all right? Good luck doing anything. And the fact is that you don't really even own a piece of that company. So yeah, I don't mess with Chinese stocks. I mean, I have considered it, but I just don't do it, man. Thanks for the super chat, JJ. I appreciate that, man. I hate to be in the UK right now. Truckers keep the world moving. Kenny, how should we show truckers our appreciation? Man, you know, we don't really need your appreciation, bro. You know, I don't know. Just stop honking at us because we don't slow down to let you in, and stop getting mad that we're like not as fast as you'd like for us to be. There's not really a lot you can do to show appreciation for truckers. You know, a lot of people try, but with Facebook posts and stuff like that. But the reality is we got it pretty rough out here. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I do appreciate that people, some people appreciate truckers, but, the thing is that most people just don't understand anything about trucking. And as a truck driver, personally, I understand that. But, things like people get mad when we're beside each other and one truck is a little bit slower than the other one, and we're trying to pass each other, and they'll honk and get pissed off and come by and flip you off and stuff. And when, what they don't understand is that these trucks are governed at certain speeds, and different companies govern their trucks at different speeds. And this is all dictated a lot of times by FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carriers Safety Administration, and a company that has a lot of violations or some shit. The fastest they can go is X miles an hour. So like my truck does 65 miles an hour. This guy next to me, his truck might only do 64 miles an hour maximum. So when we're on the freeway, we don't make money off the gas pedal. Off the brake pedal. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to mash on it to make the most money we can make. So when you see two trucks and they're side by side and one's just barely creeping on the other, it's because he doesn't want to let off that gas pedal for the next hour behind the trucker and lose money. So he's got to get around him. Anyway, we don't need to get off on a big ass tangent about truckers, but you're right, JJ. Real talk. Without us, y'all's grocery stores are empty, and that's all there is to it. What's my opinion on ChargePoint? Bro, I wish I could dump a bunch of money in ChargePoint right now. Like, I had 600 something in the Roth IRA, and I went ahead and averaged down in end phase and brought my position from 15 shares to 19 shares. But ChargePoint was real close on that list, and if I had enough to buy a decent amount of shares in it, I would load up on ChargePoint in this $20 range. I want to say it went up a little bit today. I have some in the M1 Finance, but not very much, and it is one that I would like to load up on. All right, so ChargePoint, there's no question in my mind that they're going to do really well over the next 5 to 10 years. And I think that there could be a nice pop coming in a month or so when they finally pass this infrastructure bill that includes all the charging stuff. Man, I really think that ChargePoint's going to do well, and I think that it could even be a really good swing trade on the short to mid term, that there's going to be some pops and it could move back up in that $35, $40 range. I just am not throwing a lot of money at it. I'm not throwing a lot of money at a lot of things right now. I'm kind of working on building up some cash savings rather than dumping everything in the markets like I was, which could be a mistake or could not. But I feel like I need to build up a nice, really big emergency fund type account rather than just dumping 100% in the stock market like I was doing. I'm not familiar with GGPI, Silver Shrimp, or Polestar. I'm not familiar with them. I have not done any research on that. And JJ, who knows, man? I kind of doubt it. I think that he said, is the coronavirus going to crash the stock market again or no? I kind of doubt it, because I think people are kind of getting numb to it. I think that, we had a lot of like Delta stuff going on, this new variant or whatever, and it didn't really have a big effect on the stock market. I think not until we get to a point where it actually is affecting businesses and stuff like that, maybe it could be an issue. But businesses are already so fucked up right now, guys. Like I'm seeing it all the time out on the road. I was just at a truck stop Was it last night? I think it was last night. Okay, I was at this truck stop. It was a little mom and pop truck stop, and I had stopped there, and I was like one of like 3 trucks that parked in the whole place. And I go in there, and they got no hot food and stuff, you know. And, you know, I was okay. I mean, I got plenty of food here in the truck. But, you know, I got to talking with the cashier, and she was like, well, we can't get workers in here. You know, and I had this pretty long conversation with her, because obviously there's nobody else in there. And I'm like, look, like, you guys got to start paying people better. I mean, like, and, you know, I know a lot of people call me a liberal or whatever for saying stuff like that, but you got to think about it, okay? We live in a capitalist society, okay? And I find it interesting that everybody's all, yay, capitalism and shit, all the way up until they got to pay more for some shit. And that's what we're experiencing right now. Because, yeah, you know, people on the right want to say people don't want to go to work and blah. What that is, it's not that people don't want to go to work, okay? It's that there is a labor shortage, all right? And so everybody is hiring, okay? Why would you go to work at the motherfucking Fred's Stop and Go for $8 an hour when everybody's hiring? You can go somewhere else for 15. You know what I mean? It's capitalism, all right? People don't owe you shit as an employer. Like, they don't owe you shit. They're in it for the money. So you pay, if you want employees to come, you got to raise the wages. It's the same thing, capitalism from the other side. If there's a lot of demand and not enough supply, you raise the prices. And it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. There's a lot of demand for employees and there's not a lot of supply for employees. So how do you win that game? You raise the wages. Shit gets more expensive. That's how capitalism works. But the thing is, a lot of the businesses, like, they'd rather just shut the fucking doors than pay more. And that just, like, if you're a capitalist, then you got to deal with it from all angles, you know. Let me see. What JJ, another super chat. Thank you, bro. Should you get the vaccine? Yeah, man, you should get the vaccine, dude. You know, basically half of humanity is vaccinated now, and we're all okay. I got it. I got the Johnson & Johnson, the one-shot type. You know, I got it in, where was it I at? Michigan. I got it in Michigan. Arm sore for a few days. That was it. Some people, yeah, they're getting a little bit, you know, been sickness from it or whatever. But, yeah, I think you should get it. I mean, you know, I can't tell you what to do, but, yeah, I think you should get it. Politics aside, Biden sucks for the stock market. The promise to electrify the federal fleet and accuse it, man, you know, whatever. They all suck, man. Silver Shrimp, they all suck. Trump sucked, Biden sucked, Clinton sucked. They all suck. Although I will say that under Bill Clinton, I made more money than I ever made. And right now I'm making more money than I've ever made. You know, well, kind of. I mean, I'm making better, consistent money than I have. They all suck, man, in different ways. I mean, and I'm not going to get into, I'm an independent, all right? I'll vote for whoever I think's better. But, you know, realistically, normally, it's some kind of a left candidate because, you know, I believe in, you know, I believe in freedom of everybody. And I don't think sometimes that the right believes in the freedom of everybody. I think they believe in the freedom of certain people. And I think that that's true for the left, too, on a certain level. You know, I don't want to get too much into politics. I'm an independent. I vote for whoever I think is their policies are right. And, you know, I don't agree 100% with either side. I just have to kind of, like, decide based on the policies. And I know a lot of people just vote because they think, well, Papa always voted Republican, so I'll vote Republican. Or Papa always voted Democrat, so I'll vote Democrat. I don't do that. I pay attention to the actual policies being proposed, which ones I think are better, and I make my decision that way. You know. Let's see. Maybe that changes when the infrastructure bill is passed this week. I mean, maybe the small infrastructure bill might be passed this week, but I'm not even sure about that because some of the progressives in the Democratic Party are kind of going to hold, in the same way that the Republicans are going to hold the debt ceiling hostage to try to negotiate on the big bill. I think that some of the progressives are holding it hostage as well, holding the small infrastructure hostage because they want them to finish up this $3.5 trillion bill. It's fixing to be a mess. It's fixing to be a big ass mess, all right? And that's just all there is to it. How many shares of Hyliion am I sitting on? No, I don't do calls. I don't do options at all. Like, I don't really understand it, and I'm not really interested in it. Hyliion, I got, I got 200 shares in the Roth. I got 100 shares in the cash account. And I'm not sure how much in the YouTube account, the M1 Finance, because it's fractional. It's always fractional, whatever I deposit in there. So, I don't know, 350 shares, something like that. I mean, which it's pretty good sized percentage-wise of my accounts. I know that doesn't seem like a whole lot of Hyliion, but, you know, guys, my accounts are not that big, you know what I mean? I know everybody talks about the options and the calls. What I don't like about options, okay, is that you can lose an unlimited amount of money. If I oversleep one day and something huge happens and I oversleep and I wake up and I lost a shit ton of money, I will be pissed. So I don't do that. I like shares. That's what I like. It's just, it is what it is. I like shares. Maybe at some point when I've got larger accounts, maybe I'll think more about options. But at the moment, I'm just buying shares. I gotta tell you what. I don't know why I didn't try this stuff sooner. This video ain't sponsored by Budweiser. But I like spicy V8, and I'm telling you, man, this stuff is the shit. All right, JJ, hey, man, thanks a lot for the super chats. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your support. Jennifer, fuck off. I am not drinking behind the wheel. I am done for the night. I will not be doing anything until tomorrow morning. Fuck off. Fuck off. Yeah, Silver Shrimp, that's what I'm talking about. I laugh at that bitch. Fuck that bitch. That's that little TCU bitch that I made them comments about, and she's still burning about it. I love it, man. I made a real talk video about her, and she's still just fuming about it and can't stand it, and had to come on here talking a bunch of shit. She sent her girlfriend over here to try to fucking take up for her and shit. How fucking, like, insecure can you be to have to come on months later still talking, still worried about it? Hilarious. This must be her girlfriend right here asking me if I'm gay. No, I'm not gay, but you know what? My son is. Actually, my daughter is trans. So I got no problem. I got several gay friends. I have no problem with gay people, but no, I'm straight. If I wasn't straight, I'd be upfront about it, because I ain't scared of none of y'all motherfuckers. I ain't scared of nobody, what nobody thinks. I am myself, no matter what. And if y'all don't like it, y'all can suck a dick. Y'all get to eat a whole bag of dicks, Miss Jennifer. Man, I'd love to have an ERX Trepan, however you pronounce your name. I would love to have an ERX, man. I mean, I have actually our company excuse me, uses this thing called Workhound, where we can submit anonymous comments to the company. My company's great. And I actually suggested them to look into Hyliion and stuff like that. And, you know, I didn't get a response on that one, but man, I would love it if I could get it in ERX. You know, I believe in environmental consciousness. You know, I believe in that cause, you know what I mean, of getting us off of fossil fuels and moving toward a more, I don't know, just a more green agenda. I mean, we're on the cusp of really fucking up the planet beyond repair if we don't do something about us just fucking, you know, we're like a festering boil on the ass of the fucking planet, you know, like fucking just eating away everything we touch, you know, and I want to see us get away from that. And there's a big movement over the last, you know, definitely since, you know, the 80s, but really in the last few years, 4, 5, 6 years, people have really been pushing for more sustainability, and I'd really like to see that, you know, and it's not going to be a short road, but man, we're really making some strides here over the last few years. And I'm glad to see it. And I would really like to get in an ERX and be able to like actually be a part of that, because, you know, I'm in an industry that I'm just spewing shit into the environment constantly. I mean, and I'd like to not be doing that. I'd like to be more of a part of the solution rather than the problem. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do as a man who needs to make some money, you know. Jennifer, in those other comments that she used to make, she was always like, oh man, I'm going to make a fucking fortune with Hyliion, and you sold Hyliion, you're a fucking... Now she's in here talking about Hyliion's a scam and what. So in other words, she sold all her fucking Hyliion after giving me all that shit saying I sold it when I didn't sell a single fucking share. Now she's in here talking about, oh, Hyliion's a scam, which means she sold her fucking shares. Man, this bitch... Is there a way for me to just go ahead and block her ass? Oh, there is, yeah. I'm just going to put her ass in a timeout. How about that? Inflammation? I don't know what you're talking about, man. I live in pain on a daily basis. What was that? The cave painter. I live in pain on a daily basis. I have back issues with my knee, my hip, my elbow. I have type 2 diabetes. I've been living in pain since I was... Oh, inflation. You got me off on health issues. Inflation. Look, inflation, I believe... now, here's the difference, okay? I'm not saying that prices from where they are right now are necessarily going to go all the way back down to where they were, okay? But inflation is a measure. When you measure inflation, you're measuring how much it goes up and continues to go up. And I think that at a certain point, it's going to stop going up. It's going to go up less, which means inflation will go down. Inflation is the amount that it goes up month to month, year to year, etc., etc. And for that curve to go down, all it really needs to do is flatten out. And I believe we're going to see that. I believe we're going to see that over the next quarter, possibly 2 quarters. We're going to see inflation start to flatten out, the curve start to flatten, and that's what I think, okay? I don't have a crystal ball. I'm fucking certainly not an economist, so I could totally be wrong, cave painter, but I think that a lot of these inflation fears are kind of priced into the market at to a certain extent already. People have been afraid of all this inflation for quite some time, and it's been causing FUD. And so I think that at this point, at where we are now, inflation is going to have a much larger effect on stocks like Google and Amazon and these larger cap, high valuation, high PE type of stocks. with the really high forward PEs and all this stuff. I think those stocks are going to be more affected by inflation. And I think that a lot of the stocks that are like beat down, small cap growth stocks that have already experienced these huge drops, I think that is when these other stocks start coming down. I think that's where the money is going to go, is into these smaller growth stocks, smaller cap Russell stocks. We're already seeing it to a certain extent, and that's the way I feel about it. Man, I used to get in Houston silver shrimp. And welcome back, JJ. I used to get into Houston, but now that I'm doing this dedicated in the Midwest, like I'm never really out of this area. I'm always like Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, Ohio, and then the only time I ever get to Texas is when I'm going home, and then I'm always just, they have loads that go from Champaign, Illinois straight home, and then I park there for 5 days, and bam, they hit me right back up here. So I'm never really through Houston anymore. But, you know, otherwise, yeah, I'd be down for maybe having a beer or something. The supply shortage will keep prices high. I think, Cave Painter, I think in some areas that the prices will remain high. And like I said before about the inflation is not a measure of whether prices stay high. Inflation is a measure of whether prices get higher. So just because prices are high now, they could stay right where they are and inflation would be down. Because inflation is a measure of how much they go up from month to month. So if prices stay right where they are and stay high, inflation will be down. You see what I'm saying? Like, inflation is a measure of how much stuff continues to go up. It's not a measure of how high things currently are. It's a measure of how high they are relative to how high they were last month. So I'm not saying that prices, and I think prices in some areas will come down, okay? But I'm not saying that I think that prices will ultimately all go back to where they were 6 months ago. What I'm saying is that I don't think that we're going to continue to rise. Yeah, guys, tip your truckers. Hit that super chat button and throw me a fucking super chat. You know, I could have been raping YouTube by just continuing to post videos every day, even though I don't have anything good to post. Like all these other YouTubers, they're just posting the same shit every fucking day. You know, I like them, don't get me wrong. I'm still watching them. But like Stock Mo, every fucking video is like, what's Neo gonna do? What's fucking Tesla gonna do? Same fucking video over and over and over. And they're making millions of dollars off that shit. And I just can't be bothered with it. I can't be bothered to just sit here and make the same fucking video over and over. Like, when there's something to talk about, we'll talk about it. You know, until then, like, I ain't gonna just continue to beat you up with OEG videos, you know what I mean? So yeah, throw me a super chat, motherfuckers. Love you guys. And where'd my whiskey go? Jim Beam. They don't have good whiskey at these fucking truck stops. You know, I'm kind of spoiled. I like the 14-year aged scotch and stuff because I'm fucking hoity-toity like that. And that is one thing about the Midwest, though. I can stop at a truck stop, at some truck stops, and get me a little bottle of whiskey, you know. That's last me, you know, I'm not a heavy drinker. I know that sometimes I make videos while I'm drinking, but I'm not a heavy drinker or anything. I'm not some fucking alcoholic or something. But out here on the road, like, what the fuck, man? Sometimes you just want to catch a little buzz, you know. GGPI, silver shrimp. I'll think about doing that, man. GGPI. I'll try to remember that. Throw me a super chat before you go, man. Tip your truck driver. You take care too, man. And thanks for your support. I know you've been around for a long time, man. So I appreciate it. Guess we got rid of Jennifer. Hey man, I know there ain't a lot of people in here, but hey, all y'all watching, I appreciate the support. Even if you're not giving me super chats and all that shit. Like, I appreciate that you guys are watching. I mean, I sit here, you know, get bored, and every once in a while I get a wild hair and want to make a live stream or something, you know, but I ain't Meet Kevin. I ain't trying to do it all the time and shit, you know, and I don't want to make a shit ton of videos unless I got something real to talk about. So here it is, you know what I mean? I wanted to talk a little bit about that tax loss harvesting bullshit. You can go back later and watch the beginning if you want to hear that. You know, I was going to make a video about it, and I decided just to do this live stream and talk about it. You're a big fan of mine, dude. I'm just a regular ass dude, RX, but I appreciate it. Do I have a toilet? No, we don't have toilets. I think there's like one kind of sleeper in a Kenworth. I forget what it's called, like a super sleeper or something that has a kind of like a little piss hole that you can piss in and it goes out on the ground. But no, we don't have. That's pretty much the only thing I don't have is running water or a toilet. Now, don't get me wrong. I got emergency. I got a fucking emergency setup. If I gotta fucking go, I can go. But I ain't got a toilet in here. You know, there are a lot of times when I'll, you know, take a piss in a bottle or something if I have to, or stop and get out, you know, and piss. But when you got to do the other thing, you do have to have an emergency situation, something figured out. But for the most part, you use the truck stops and, you know, the showers and the truck stops. And then when you fuel up, you have a loyalty card for different truck stops. Like I have one for Love's, Pilot, TA. And whenever you fuel up, you swipe that card at the pump. And then most of the time it's like if it's 60 gallons or more or whatever, they give you a shower credit. And then you can go in and get you a shower. And they stack up. So I got showers on all my cars. I can stop and take a shower or, you know, go to the bathroom, whatever, in the truck stops. But other than that, like I do have a lot of amenities in the truck. I mean, I have a refrigerator and a microwave. I have power. So, no, they don't charge you to use the toilet, JJ. No. Shower, though. If you don't have any shower credits and you want to take a shower, they'll charge you for that, but not the toilet. But I have a microwave and a refrigerator, and I have an inverter, so I have power in here. And I have like a George Foreman grill, and I've got a Keurig, so I'll make my own coffee in the mornings, and it's fine. It's fine, man. You know, we're 90% of the time I'm at a truck stop for the night, so you know I can get a shower, use their bathroom and stuff like that, and then of course when I'm driving I can stop and use the restroom at a truck stop or rest area or whatever. Or like I said, if it's emergency and you're stuck somewhere and there's no bathroom, you know, you got options, but it ain't a toilet. Now I wish there was one right here I could show you. Some trucks have a big ass cab that's like an RV, and some of those actually have a little tiny toilet shower combination type of thing in them. And who was that? RX, was that you? RX, if you go back in my videos, there is a tour of my truck that I did at one point. It's way back somewhere. It might be kind of hard to find, but it's in there. You know, I feel pretty comfortable in the truck. I feel pretty comfortable. You know, I live in this truck 6 weeks. I've been out, Friday will be 3 weeks, and I'll have another 3 weeks, and then I'll go home for 4 or 5 days and go back out for another 6 weeks. And here's my reasoning behind that, okay? Because a lot of guys do go home every 2 weeks. And I could, if I wanted to, I could go home every 2 weeks. They don't force me to stay out for the length that I stay out, okay? There's a reason why I do it. And the reason is that a lot of these guys want to go home every 2 weeks, and then they get frustrated because they feel like they're not making very much money. And the reason that they're not making very much money is because they fucking go home every 2 weeks. Because like if you go home, every time you go home, you fuck up a paycheck. You know what I mean? You go home for 2 or 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is. That's how many days of pay you lose. So if you go home every 2 weeks, every other week is a $500 or $600 paycheck. You know what I mean? Like. But me, I'm like, fuck that shit. I go home and I schedule it in a certain way so that I only fuck up one paycheck. And then I stay out for six, and then I get a really little paycheck, like $300. And then I stay out for 6 weeks and get $5,000 to $1,300 paychecks and stack that shit up. And then when I go home, I got fucking $4,000 in my pocket. You know what I mean? I get a hotel because I don't pay for a residence. So my complete bills are only about $300 a month. So when I go home, by the time I go home, I done stacked up a big old wad of cash. And I go get fucked up and buy whatever the fuck I want, eat steaks and fucking drink expensive whiskey and shit for 3 or 4 days. And then I go back out for 6 weeks. You know, and during that time, you know, then when I go back in, I done spent $1,000, $1,500, whatever it is, and then when I go back out, I still got $2,000-$3,000 left, and then I start throwing that shit in the stock market, and that's just what I do. You know, I'm like, I've been doing it for over a year with as far as the stock market portion of it goes. I've been with this company and back on the road for a little over 2 years, somewhere between 2 and 2.5 years. And, you know, I started really stacking money and doing the stock market thing a little over a year ago. When was it? It was July or something, that it was a 1-year anniversary. And, you know, I've put back $15,000 in that 13, 14 months, whatever it's been. And I don't know if I talked about this here, but I talked about it on my Facebook. Like, I know I've talked before about my goals for the future, about like starting a recording studio and potentially a complex where bands can rent rehearsal rooms monthly and stuff like that. And I did the math. Every once in a while I go on and I do the math. And I did the math recently, and I've hit the benchmark now of being to the point to where if I cashed everything out right now, I would have enough to have a nice ass 24-track recording studio with fucking all the trimmings, you know, expensive-ish microphones and just everything I needed to record full bands. I just haven't, but that's just the equipment itself. That's not the place to have the studio and the jam rooms, etc. So I'm still a couple of years off, but man, it really does feel good to have hit that goal, you know, to see myself moving in the direction and having enough money to at least buy the equipment for the recording studio portion. You know, it's like a big benchmark for me. And I know maybe a lot of you guys don't really give a shit, but, you know, I mean, that's what this whole investing journey is all about for me, is getting to a place through investments to where I can start some type of a business that allows me to come off the road and live a full life doing what I want to do, you know, which is record music. I mean, even if it's not me playing the music, you know, I want to be somehow involved in music into old age. And I feel like I'm getting close. I feel like I'm like a third of the way there right now. And so a couple of more years, and I feel like I'm going to have enough to do it. And, you know, if I was to hold it out and do it a third year, 3 more years, I feel like I'd be set up pretty well. So that's the goal. Hopefully I get there. Man, I've been on almost an hour, guys. Y'all throw me a super chat, all right? Because I'm not going to be able to do it very much longer. Throw me a super chat. I hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed sitting here running my mouth to you guys. It's starting to get dark anyway. I'm going to run out of light here before it's over with. But thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. You know, turn this light on. Yeah, that's not better. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I appreciate it. You know, I apologize that I haven't been making as many videos lately, but like I say, man, I need something to talk about. And with me shifting to a longer term view, there just hasn't been a lot to talk about. I'm just kind of sitting waiting on stuff. But I'm feeling like over the next few months, there's going to be some chances for me to come in and make a video talking about I made fucking $8,000 today. So we're going to find out. Let's see. Did I miss any good comments? Going too fast for you, JJ. Yeah, we're running out of road here. Hey, man, JJ, man, I really appreciate all them super chats, bro. You're fucking awesome, dude. And what's up, JP? Your image looks similar to JJ, so I didn't see you pop in there. What's up, man? Or, yeah, I assume you're a dude. I didn't mean to misgender you if I did. We'll take one more shot of this whiskey, and I guess Jennifer ran off. We ran her off finally. I don't know. I may finish this little bottle tonight. It was about, I don't know about that much in it from me drinking last night. Indeed a dude. What's up, JP, man? I appreciate you being here. I'm not familiar with you. I hadn't seen you around before. I apologize for my toothlessness. It just ain't my number one priority right now to get these teeth fixed, because you know what? I gotta be honest with you. I don't give a fuck what y'all think. I definitely don't give a fuck what them bitches think. Before I came back on the road, the reason I was forced back on the road was because of some fucking relationship bullshit. I was with this chick for like 9 years and shit didn't work out. And, I don't hate her. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate her, but it was pretty fucking roguish the way it ended. And I ended up back out here on the road. And yeah, I'm a little bit bitter about it, but on the upside, like, it did afford me the opportunity to start doing all this saving, and I wish I would have started it sooner. It took me a little while to like click to the fact that that's what I needed to be doing. But prior to starting my journey in the stock market and investments, I did use my money pretty wisely. I bought a GMC Yukon from a buddy of mine, and I used the money pretty wisely up until that point. But I do kind of wish I would have clicked a little bit sooner to investing, because I missed quite a bit of that like March bullshit when the pandemic first hit. If I just would have gotten lucky and would have got in right in that March valley, man, I would have made so much money. It would have been fucking crazy. I might just go ahead and finish this whiskey up. In here still. Shows 8 people in here. Who all's in here? So far, I've only seen a couple of people comment. Silver Shrimp said he left. JJ said he left. We got JP in here. Oh, JJ back, right? Who do we got in here? Give me some questions. I got a buzz now. It's fixing to be on. Y'all want some real talk? What's up? You're not even going to say anything, Jennifer. You're just going to start swinging on God. Swinging on God? What the fuck does that even mean? Jennifer, I I know that you got you all butt hurt and shit, but you know, I don't really I don't hate you. You know what I mean? You're the one that always started talking all of that shit. You know what I mean? I don't hate nobody. Wild road stories. You know what? Like, since I've been back for this 2.5 years, there ain't no wild road stories anymore. I don't drink and drive, Jennifer. I don't drink and drive, ever. Not ever. There are no wild road stories anymore. Like, you know, I've been a truck driver. I've had my CDL for 20 years. And, you know, back in the day when I was over the road, I was local for a long time. Back in the day when I was on the road, there was a lot of wild stuff happening. But these days, like, nobody even gets on the CB and talks, and you know, there's no like lot lizards to fuck with. We used to fuck with the lot lizards all the time, like that, because what they would do back in the day is they would go, you know, have their fun with somebody in their truck, and then they would use that trucker's radio, and they would get on the radio and they would say, "Oh, who wants some pussy," or whatever, and somebody would flash their lights. And then they would get out of the truck and go to that next truck. And then when they were done over there, they'd get on the radio, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of times what we would do is, it'd be late at night, you know, and they'd get on the radio, and then 2 or 3 people would flash their lights. And we'd be talking about it on another channel, and then we'd switch back to the channel. And then they'd get on there and they'd be like, whatever. And a couple people would flash their lights. And then the chick would get out of the truck. And then you'd lock your doors and close all your curtains up and shit. And they'd come beat on your door and you don't answer. So then they're stuck out in the parking lot because they don't have nobody's radio to get the next John or whatever. And so they'd be stuck walking around the parking lot, and we'd all be on the radio laughing. The fun was this radio. You know, this radio was like, you know, you'd find somebody rolling down the road to talk to for hours, and then you'd get in a truck stop and just all be just laughing and cutting up and talking shit and messing with the lot lizards, and motherfuckers would be all over trying to sell shit. But now, like, let me turn the radio up. Nothing. Just crickets. Nobody on the radio anymore, you know. And it's the same thing going down the road. The only time anybody really uses their radio is when you come up on a traffic jam. And it kind of sucks. It makes it more boring. But at the same time, we also have, like, I'm watching YouTube and trading stocks and shit like that while I'm going down the road. So there are trade-offs. But overall, like, if I look back at what it was like 20 years ago versus what it's like now, I'd say it's better.
Plenty of spots on your good side.
Overall, like, I think it's better now. Like, I don't want lot lizards beating on my door at 2 in the morning while I'm trying to sleep. You know, and that used to be a constant at truck stops. Is lot lizards or motherfuckers wanting to sell you some bootleg DVDs or who knows what. There was always somebody beating on your door trying to sell you some shit or something. And that's just not a thing anymore. And I think it's good. I prefer it now. Yeah, lot lizards. But I got to be honest. Since I've been back almost 2.5 years now, I have not seen a single lot lizard in that whole time, and I'm happy about it. Like, you know, I don't pay for pussy anyway, but, you know, just the beating on they would come up and beat on your window and shit like that and wake you up. And, you know, I just, like, I ain't interested. It's a better environment now in some ways, and that's one of them. And also, like, especially in some places like Atlanta and Arkansas and some other particular truck stops, like, motherfuckers would just be trying to sell you all kinds of shit and beating on your door and begging for money and shit. And you hardly ever see that anymore. Thank Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you. And I'm glad you appreciate my perspective on the stock market. But I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a truck driver. I'm not your mama. And you know, I will say that I have a high IQ, but that does not mean shit. You know, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know, you know, half of what fucking Jeremy knows about the stock market. All I have is my own perspective and what I've been seeing for the last year or so. And common sense. And maybe there is some kind of an advantage to the fact that I'm not already like, I don't know, entrenched in this system or haven't been for a long time, you know. So maybe I have a little bit of a fresher perspective than some other people. Yeah, I ain't your mama. I ain't your mama. It's important that you say that, you know what I mean? Because there are a lot of people on YouTube, and maybe not on my channel because I don't have a lot of subscribers, but on these other channels that I watch, I see a lot of people that are just like, oh yeah, whatever you say, and what, you know, and I can't be responsible for that, you know what I mean? Because I might make some stupid decisions. I'm a pretty bold motherfucker who just does what I think, you know what I mean? And I'm not so arrogant to think that the things that I think are necessarily right. I've made lots of mistakes. I've lost some money here and there. You know, I win some, I lose some. And, you know, the idea of starting a YouTube channel was kind of to chronicle what I do and as learning as I go and shit like that, you know. And I just want to make sure that nobody like looks to me as some kind of an authority on the stock market, because I certainly am not that, you know what I mean? I'm just some fucking dude on the internet. Might be the ramblings of a madman. You know what the fuck, what's the name always says. I'm just some random dude sitting here fucking drinking Jim Beam and getting fucked up and dumping a bunch of money in the stock market. Lose some, win some. I'd say overall I'm up, but not by very much. Now there for a while I was way up. And I really do feel like I'm going to be way up again in just a few months. Like I really feel like OEG is going to make me a fucking shit ton of money over the next year. And who knows when I sell it, but I really do feel like OEG, Orbital Energy Group, I really do feel like that stock is gonna jump back up in that $10 range. Will it stay there when it happens? I don't know. And I don't really care, because when it jumps up to that $9-10 range again, I'm gonna sell it and make about $9 grand. And I'm waiting on it, you know. I've doubled my money in that stock once already, and I've made money on it another time. And I really do think it's got an opportunity to go higher than that. But yeah, I mean, if I had one stock that I would tell you that you probably will double your money on if you watch it closely and wait for it to happen, because it may go right back down, it would be OEG. I really do think that they're going to have, when this Black Sun project starts that they're involved in, and a bunch of news starts coming out, and then in, I don't know, maybe the next 2 earnings, maybe the next 3 earnings calls, when their business actually turns profitable from losses to profits, man, guys, the stock price is going to fucking go nuts. Stephen, Tesla, Hyliion are probably the 2 right now that I'm the longest on, but I don't think I'm holding anything that I've got right now for no 10 years. You know, my goals, the goals that I have right now are like 2 and 3 years away. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to start a business, come off the road, cash everything out, and start over again in the next 2 to 3 years. And Hyliion, Tesla, if I were to have to pick some stuff to hold for 10 years, and you know, I'm not going to talk about giant stocks that are already up high right now. I would say the ETF TAN solar ETF. I think that in 10 years, you make a ton of money on that. I think ARKK, ARKK, I think that one you'll make a shit ton on in 10 years. Uh, you know, those are two that I would say you'll make a shit ton on in 10 years. I don't want to go too much further than that. I mean, you know, because 10 years is a long time, man. You know, anything could happen in 10 years. But if you're looking at ETFs like ARKK and TAN, like those two, I really think you do a shit ton of money in 10 years. Even those are down, Andrew, and I know that you've worried about OEG and stuff in the past, but you know, when you're looking at a long-term view, I mean, you got to just ignore those ups and downs. I mean, they are down, but you know, you've got a lot of tumultuous shit happening right now. I mean, you know, you got this pandemic, and there's just a lot of shit going on right now, Andrew, and you know, if you're looking at a really long-term investment, like, you just gotta shut your eyes and open them in 5 years, you know, because there's going to be volatility. I mean, that's just all there is to it. God damn, man, I'm getting a buzz, and now I'm just going off the rails talking whatever I want to talk. So y'all don't fucking listen to me. And you're right, Stephen. If the companies that you invest in last for the 10, it's hard not to make money. I mean, that's the question. Company that you invest in last 10 years, because a lot of especially when it comes to YouTube and people like investing in these companies that are what the big money would call meme stocks, or you know, popular stocks on YouTube, there is a risk that they might not be around in 10 years. So you do have to be careful which ones you invest in. But if you invest in a company that is around in 10 years, it's hard not to make money. You're right. Yeah, Andrew, you cannot allow that to fuck with you. Every day there's stocks that are moving up 20, 30%. Every day there were opportunities for you to make a shit ton of money. But you don't have a crystal ball. You know what I mean? You don't, I don't, nobody does. You know what I mean? And you just got to, either you want to take the risk to get the reward, or you don't. I mean, if you really want to be sure that you make money, just investing in fucking S&P 500 funds and stuff like that. And even still, you might not, you know, it might be a couple of years before it looks good for you. It's just the nature of the beast. I mean, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm down in just about every position that I have right now. You know, my Hyliion's down, my OEG's down, my Tesla's up. But, you know, you just gotta if you do the research and you really do trust in your convictions about particular stocks, you just gotta ignore it. Man, I got some Lordstown too, just in the M1, but Lordstown, I'm still feeling like Lordstown, I think they're going to do something, Bobby. Steven, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate it, bro. I really do. And yes, all this money goes into the M1 finance account. So thanks a lot for the super chat. I appreciate it. The revenues have been really thin because I haven't been making a lot of videos. But the thing is, like, with the way the stock market's been, I just don't feel like swing trading and shit, you know? It's just too unpredictable right now. And even though, like, I've been thinking over the last week or so that I could have probably made a lot of money, like just waiting for OEG to go to $3 and selling it and buying it, and then waiting for it to come back up and selling it, and then waiting for it to go back to $3 and buying it, because it just keeps hovering. $3, $2.98 to $3.30, $3.25, you know. But I just, like, I feel like I can't tell when that big pop is going to happen, and I think that it's coming with OEG. I really think there's going to be a big pop, and it could be tomorrow, or it could be in a month, or it could be in 3 months. But I really do feel like I'm just going to wake up one day in a pre-market, and that shit's going to be $9. And with the huge position that I have in it, if it does that, I'll make like 9,000 fucking dollars. I'll damn near double my total holdings, and I'm waiting for it, and I think it's coming. I'm not a financial advisor. Let's see if it is. And that was the end of that. Damn, guys, I can't believe I made 30 bucks just sitting here talking shit. I know JJ's gone, but man, I appreciate that. There's multiple super chats from JJ, and he's been on my channel and been a supporter for quite some time, man, and I really appreciate that. And then Steven, thanks for the 10 bucks. And who else was it? Somebody else? Lewis. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate all you guys' support. And thanks, Andrew. You know, I am looking out for y'all. I mean, I'm looking out for myself first, but you know, I'm not trying to push a bunch of stuff on y'all. You know what I mean? Like, there was a point there where I was like, well, I'm making like videos every day, but do I really have anything good to talk about? Because, you know, like, if there's not a lot going on, then why would I just continue to try to make videos every day? It's almost like I'm being greedy and just trying to milk. And it's not really milking you guys, because, you know, YouTube pays me just because you guys watch, and it doesn't cost y'all anything. But still, it just feels like I don't want to be one of these guys that's just every day pumping out fucking bunch of shit that doesn't mean anything. Which, you know, I like Stock Mo, and don't get me wrong, but I feel like he's just every day just hammering out videos of the same shit over and over and over. And the same thing with Jeremy. Like, every video he posts, like, Tattoo Chef and fucking Dropbox and Planet 13, and it's always the same fucking video over and over and over. And I just ain't trying to do that. You know what I mean? Like, when I have something important to say, something big happens, you know, then I'll make a video. And maybe I'll pop in and do a drunk ass live stream every once in a while, you know what I mean? But I ain't trying to just pump out videos just to make videos, you know, it ain't about that. You know, I make not very much off of it when I do that, so why do it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I haven't been making a lot of videos on my other channel either that you guys, you know, don't know anything about. But just for basically for the same reason. Like, you know, I want to have something that I'm really passionate about or that I want to talk about before I just start pumping out videos for no reason. So stick around, guys. Stick with me. We're going to get back to a point where these growth stocks are going to start kicking and the videos are going to start rolling again. But for right now, I'm just kind of sitting, you know. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'm going to hang out for another minute. Throw me a super chat, because I'm not going to stay on very much longer. Support the channel. Throw me a super chat, because I ain't going to just make a video every day just for making a video. So if you enjoy the content and you like that I'm only making videos when I think there's something important to talk about, you know, support me in another way other than watching a video every day. You know what I mean? Throw me a little super chat, and you know, it is what it is. I done finished my whiskey. I done finished my Bud Light Clamato. And now I'm just waiting on the paychecks to roll in. I stack them up. I see Jennifer ran off. That's good. I like that. And Bobby, it ain't that I'm talking again. I pretty much never stop talking. You know what I mean? I just don't want to just make videos just for the sake of making videos. You know, it feels wrong to me, like I'm just trying to milk the YouTube system for whatever it's worth. And I guess I could do that. I mean, I could make a video every day just talking about some bullshit and talking about my day, and a lot of people would probably watch it, you know, but I mean, it just doesn't seem like what the channel's about. Maybe I should start another channel that's just a vlog of me just talking shit about my day every day. Would you guys watch that? Oh no, he's smoking a cigarette. Everybody jump on his ass. He's smoking. Oh shit. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. I drink alcohol. I smoke cigarettes. Stonks will be pumping again soon, Bobby. I'm telling you. It will. What else can he do? Can't smoke cigarettes. Drinks alcohol on the road. What else might he do? Cheat a little bit here and there, even though he ain't supposed to. Oh man, it ain't easy to locate. What else might he do a little bit? That he ain't supposed to do. Vape a little bit. Is that what that is? Just vape? Is that all? Does that? That might just be a nicotine vape or what? Or might that be something he might have picked up in Illinois or somewhere? Anyway, letting y'all know a little bit too much now. All right. Hit me with that super chat. Hit it. Help me build up that M1 Finance account. We're at about 1,500 right now in the M1 Finance, and any money that you throw me on this fucking live stream, or any money I make on my other channel or off the t-shirts from my other channel, all that shit goes into the M1 Finance. So you know, it's currently sitting kind of hovering even. We were up about 20 or 30% at one point, and then it's kind of just hovering around even now. You know, we were up a little bit a couple days ago, and then now we're down a little bit today. I think things are going to pick up over the next few months, and especially the first half of next year. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff pick up. So we'll see what happens. I appreciate you guys watching, putting up with my drunk ass over here. Smoking cigarettes, get drunk, cussing out Jessica, all that shit, you know what I mean? What's up, Brujo? What's up? Excuse me. What's up, Brujo? Ken in the house. You done missed it, man. I've been on for like an hour and a half, man. I'm fixing to jump off. Throw me a super chat if you want to support it. Shit, I ain't really got anything else to say. I done drank. What I drink? Fucking almost a half a pint of whiskey. Or almost a pint of whiskey. A big ass tall boy. Smoked a little bit of a sledgehammer vape. Might just be regular nicotine, might not. Up to you to decide. And yeah, I dropped my trailer at the shipper to load up, and I won't go pick it up till in the morning. So I'm done for the night, sitting here. You know, the Jessica chick who talked shit a while back, and I made a real talk video about her. She been on here talking some shit tonight. Said he's drinking behind the wheel, and he's a blah 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 blah. Like throwing a fit, you know, being her normal self. You know, go back and watch it after I'm done. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'm just acting like an idiot now, so I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back when I'm back.